Now, it's easy to assume that this is what James is trying to avoid, an audit that might show corruption. Because if we get down to the base reason as to why Doge was created, it was created to remove corruption and wasteful spending. Trump lawyer Mike Davis recently went on Benny Johnson's show to talk about Letitia James. Now, you might remember him from late last year when he said this.
Let me just say this to Big Tish James, the New York Attorney General. I dare you. I dare you to try to continue your lawfare against President Trump in his second term, because listen here, sweetheart, we're not messing around this time, and we will put your fat ass in prison for conspiracy against rights. And I promise you that. So think long and hard before you want to violate President Trump's constitutional rights or any other American's constitutional rights. It's not going to happen again.
Davis got a lot of heat for this, although he doesn't seem to mind. He even doubled down as he was recently a guest on the show again.
I would say this. I think Pam Bondi made the decision to bring a civil lawsuit because I don't think Pam has the budget right now to feed Tish James in prison. So I think we're going to wait until we get a supplemental from Congress for the prison food budget to feed her fat ass in prison. And I think that's going to be the step two.
Now, it's safe to say that Davis is not a fan of Letitia James. We're going to go ahead and wait and see what Doge can find. But if she has nothing to hide, then there should be no problem, right? Now, let's talk about borders, as Tom Homan is doing everything that the country has asked for and more. Interior ICE arrests made for the first 20 days that President Trump has been in office has hit almost 12,000 compared to the same period under former President Joe Biden. And it's not even half of that at less than 5,000. The same could be said for arrests of illegal immigrants with criminal histories. Last year, it was around 4,500. Under the Trump administration, it's around double at almost 9,000, and we're only like a month into his presidency. Gang members apprehended have also doubled under the current administration. So it's obvious that President Trump has Tom Homan doing the bidding of the American people, which does not sit well with liberals like Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. She continues to defend her webinar where she taught illegal immigrants what they can do to avoid ICE. Although it might not age well, since it looks like Tom Homan has already talked to the DOJ about her actions.
I heard you talking about AOC over the weekend. Do you believe she is breaking the law?
I'll leave that up to DOJ. What I find disturbing is that any member of Congress wants to educate people how they evade law enforcement. You can claim you're educating those constitutional rights. Okay, you can keep that claim. What she in fact is doing is telling people don't open your door, hide in your home, don't talk to ICE. We're talking about people who are in the country illegally, committed a crime, they're a public safety threat, they've been convicted of serious crime, and they've been ordered removed by a federal judge. So it's like AOC and others don't want ICE to enforce the laws that they enacted. She's a member of Congress. Let us enforce the laws you enacted. That's what we're supposed to do.
You can't go after her. Do you think others should?
No, I think I've asked DOJ, where's that line of impediment, of interference? Now, if someone stands in your way, prevents you from arresting somebody, put your hands on it, that's impediment. But what line is telling people to hide from ICE, not open the door? Where do you cross that line on impediment? So I've simply asked the Department of Justice, give us that line.
You have talked to them about this. That's what you're saying?
Absolutely.
This is not a guarantee that AOC is going to go to jail or go to prison or anything like that, but it is highlighting the amount of crazy that we have in Congress, because it's proven without a shadow of a doubt that these so-called elected officials favor illegal immigrants and that they're going out of their way to help them so much more than they would help an American citizen, which isn't that great of a look for the Democratic Party. President Trump won the White House with our border safety as one of the top concerns, and it looks like AOC and the like, they don't care about what the majority say. The fact is, they want to keep criminals and illegal aliens from being deported. No wonder they're losing their base. Now, on that note, guys, Hollywood continues to sink as they let people like Tom Hanks do racist skits on SNL. It's 2025 and they're still doing stuff like this that offends their own fans. Now, I'm gonna let you guys judge the clip for yourself.
Oh, well, thank you. Hey, now speaking of church, can I say something? If more folks went to church, we wouldn't be in this mess we're in now.
You know what? I agree with you, Doug. I'd like to shake your hand, sir. Here we go.
No,
oh, no.
Like that.
Oh, no, it's just a handshake. Yeah, it's just a handshake. Yeah, all right. You're welcome in Black Jeopardy anytime.
All right. Well, thank you, my brother. Maybe I'll start a show for you to come on, and we'll call it What jeopardy?
No. We don't need it. We don't need it.
They're implying that Trump supporters are racists, the same way that they've gone and called the president himself a racist. But here's the real eye-opener. Donald J. Trump won more black votes than any Republican in the last 5 decades. CNN's Harry Enton was surprised about this change. He had this to say about it. These are the types of groups that you would never have thought Donald Trump would have gained so much support among 8 years ago when he first went against Hillary Clinton. Now, if we look at this at the national level, you would see that the president almost doubled his support among black men under 45 compared to 2020. And I think interactions like this one really help make the case.
Come on up, fellas. Rapper Sleepy Hollow. Come on up here, fellas. How are you, man? Hey. Oh, I like that. I want to get that done.
President Trump, oh man. One thing I want to say. One thing I want to say. They always gonna whisper your accomplishments and shout your failures. Trump gonna shout the wins for all of us. Make America great again.
Not much else to say after that, but it's evident that Tom Hanks has never been to a MAGA rally, nor have the writers of SNL, because they're speaking from hearsay. To experience it is a whole other level. But what do you guys think about Tom Hanks? Did you guys enjoy this episode? Now, I want to link you to a previous video that I did. It's something that you're going to want to watch because I talked about the alleged corruption that affects Social Security. Make sure you guys check that video out after this one. As always, thanks for your time. Thanks for hitting the like button and subscribe.
All Americans should be concerned, and particularly the constituents of the great state of New York should be concerned about a private individual, the richest man in the world, having access to their personal information, their Social Security numbers, their addresses, their income tax. And the question is, what is the purpose of all of this? And the question is whether or not they have followed the law. It's important that individuals understand that we cannot allow private citizens to have access to this private information. And pausing funds for the purposes of individuals bowing to the knee of the President of the United States.
New York Attorney General Letitia James is doing everything she can just to try and push Elon Musk away from her state. Border czar Tom Homan formally taps the DOJ to investigate Congresswoman AOC, and Hollywood star Tom Hanks may have just pissed off more than half the country. Appreciate you guys hitting the like button. Thank you so much for subscribing to the channel. Guys, we have loads to talk about in today's video, so let's go ahead and hop on the Doge train and let's talk about New York. AG Letitia James seems to be very nervous when it comes to the topic of audits. She's showing a great deal of concern that the richest man in the world, Elon Musk, might gain access to our private data. Meanwhile, they don't care about different federal agencies who have access to this information. Some agencies who have been found to be using our taxpayer dollars for illegal immigrants. So she's worried about a private citizen who has been appointed by the commander-in-chief to audit the government. A guy who is, in her words, the richest man in the world. And she's talking about him accessing our data. First of all, I don't think Elon Musk really even cares about our personal data. He's been providing us with data about the clear misuse of our taxpayer money. And I think that's what James is worried about. Do you guys remember this report from Tucker Carlson?
Speaking of corrupt, the Attorney General of New York, Letitia James, who reportedly is worth $15 million despite making less than $200,000 a year in her job. How did that happen? If true, immediately congratulated herself, as always, after the ruling.
Everyone must play by the same rules. Donald Trump engaged in deceptive business practices and tremendous fraud. Donald Trump falsely, knowingly inflated his net worth by billions of dollars to unjustly enrich himself, his family, and to cheat the system. Donald Trump may have authored the art of the deal, but he perfected the art of the steal.
So big picture, the rest of us for decades now have been bullied into allowing the dumbest and most corrupt among us to run everything. They occupy positions of power in every big city in the United States, prosecutors' offices, and obviously they're tearing down what they didn't build. That's exactly what we're watching now. Maybe we should stop allowing that.
Hey, by the way, guys, if you're one of the real ones who really enjoy what we do here on the channel, you've got to check out the Inner Circle. This is where our true supporters get exclusive access to content that I just can't share here, completely commercial free. free. It's also the best way to keep this channel going strong. So if you want to be a part of something special, join us over there. Links in the description or in the pinned comment down below.